Hey everybody, this is Eric off the Classy Climb blog. We're talking about tonight 10 things that require zero talent. You heard me right. 10 things that require zero talent. And you're going, why are we talking about Erica? Listen, talent is amazing. I mean, there are so many stories of talented people who wasted their life, wasted their talent. I mean, the number one thing people say is the saddest thing is wasted talent. But guess what? There's a world full of talented broke people, full of talented bitter people, full of talented people who didn't have any results. Why? Because hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. How many times have you seen people, you're like, man, he's so talented if he just applied himself. She's so talented if she just work a little harder. If she just stopped coasting in school. And I understand it. Sometimes when people are talented, they coast. But they shouldn't. So here we go. We're going to focus on 10 things that require zero talent. 1, being on time. There's nothing more effortless than being on time. I remember working with people who honestly were not as good of workers as I, but they were on time every morning. I remember one guy became manager because of it. So being on time is important. People value their time. When you're on time, you show that you respect someone else's time. You just can't not, you just cannot always show up late. I know a friend who married a girl who was like, she's always showing up late. It's so disrespectful. What do I do? I'm like, look, dude, you've already signed up on that train. She's just going to be late. But understandably, you should request that she be on time. 2, work ethic. Excuse me, everybody. 2, work ethic. People are going, what? Work ethic? Yes, work ethic. Work ethic is something that requires zero talent. If you come to work and put your best foot forward, that requires zero talent. That requires you just doing your job. Maybe we're going to go, Erica, no, you need talent. There's some jobs you need no talent for. You need a smile, but not talent, okay? 3, effort. Listen, I've seen people come into the gym day in and day out, giving 150%. And I can see the muscles. I can see the body. I can see the definition. I also go to the gym and see people who kind of half-ass it. They kind of walk slow on the treadmill. They kind of bicycle. They kind of lift weights. And their body looks like they kind of just work out. Yep, pretty much. Just kind of there. I mean, I know people who joke all the time. I've got a 3-day-a-week body. Or I've got a 2-day-a-week body. And I used to go, what does that mean? Well, it kind of looks like I work out maybe 3 times a week. Or my body looks like I work out twice a week. And there's some people on Instagram who look like they're chiseled out of stone. But guess what? They're devoting hours on that body. They're devoting hours on that body. They're putting effort after effort. Trust me, it is not an overnight success for those type of people. 4, body language. Body language requires zero talent. I know so many nice young ladies who, the gentleman just said, you know what? She seemed open. She seemed nice. I was able to talk to her. So, I mean, your body language is important. And if you don't understand body language, go grab a book on body language or go read a few YouTube books on body language. There are so many times people say, well, he seems angrier. She seems angrier. They're always standing with their arms crossed or hands in their pockets or in a defensive stand. I used to have a friend, she walked really defensive. And I'm like, if I was a guy, I wouldn't want to speak to her. Or if I was a girl at work, I'd be nervous to come up to her because she's walking kind of hard. And she never understood that, but we explained it to her. Okay? Number 5, energy. There's nothing worse than going to McDonald's to get an order, which I haven't gone to McDonald's in a while, so let me make that more realistic. Panera Bread or Newt's Eatery Cafe or just some kind of restaurant and going up and the person has a bad attitude. You're like, look, dude, I don't care if you don't want to work this job or not, but you should be upfront with amazing attitude. And another reason, zero talent. And number 6 is attitude, is because you can see the lines of Chick-fil-A wrapped around the building. Studies have shown when people are at work and they're grateful and showing gratitude, they feel better. So imagine a person every day saying, my pleasure to help you. My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for coming. How are you having a great day? Welcome to Chick-fil-A. Over and over again, they're convincing their mind, I am grateful to be here. I am happy for this job. I am happy for this pay. I'm content with it being busy. And guess what? People in this society are so starved for people to show they're grateful to be somewhere and grateful to have their service and actually attentive to them. That's why Chick-fil-A has lines wrapped out the building. Some people may say it's the chicken, some people may say something, but the lines are wrapped around the building. And they have the Christian kind of persona, which some people are bothered by, but even they continue to eat the chicken. Why? Because they have this wonderful attitude coming from their employees. Number 7, passion. I can tell you right now, there's a movie coming out called Eddie the Eagle. I may be incorrect on the total title, but he is a jump skier, if I'm not mistaken, from London, from UK, and he just wasn't any good. Like, he literally had no talent. He had no athletic ability. He was just very, very terrible. But guess what he had? He had passion, and he wanted to represent his country in the 1980s Olympics. And finally, I mean, he just made such a stink about it. They were like, fine, let him do it. Because he had the passion. He wasn't the most talented. He wasn't the most handsome. He wasn't the most athletic. He just had the most passion. And I know a lot of people hate the follow your passion movement because sometimes your passions don't pay you like a job will. But there are people who've carried their passion for music and art throughout their whole life, and it's actually carried them because it gave them something to be interested in, to love, and to enjoy. Okay? Number 8, and one of a really big one, is be coachable. Being coachable is so important. You know, so many parents are saying they don't have time for sports in the afternoon, or they can't afford to take their kid, or they, hate signing their kid up and their kid loses. And, the whole everybody wins trophies, participation trophies. This is why sports is having a tough time. Because listen, you have to be coachable. And if your team doesn't win, or you're not good enough to be on the team, it's not society's issue to force you onto that team and force you to be allowed to play. You just have to get better. Okay? So being coachable is important because it doesn't just stand for just athletics. It stands for life. I know there's sometimes you'll talk to some kids, and if you're a tough tone with them, they'll cry. Not only will they cry, they'll hear them tell their parents, and their parents are like, how dare you speak to my child that way? I know grown people like that. You can't say any constructive criticism to them, or they would break down and cry. How dare you tell me the truth in such a blunt fashion? I'm sorry. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. And right now we have a society full of people, especially in relationship experts, who are like, oh, girl, it's never you. It's always him. It's always the man's fault. And you're like, are you kidding me? This girl's angry, mean, doesn't have a job, broke, bills up to her eyeballs, and overweight. Like there could be 10,000 things wrong with her, but yet these people are writing these books saying, it's never you. It's always him. Because guess what? That's what people want to hear. But that's not being coachable. That's not being realistic. And that's not going to change her life. She's just going to be a couple more years down the road and angry because you told her a lie that she should not have to change. And sorry, life requires change. And society, just society require you to change sometimes. Just be the best version of yourself. But in order to be the best version of yourself, you got to be coachable. Same thing works in MLMs and businesses all the time. People say, oh, I know what I want to do. I don't need your help. Dude, you're not coachable. You don't listen and you won't grow. I can't grow you if you won't grow. Right? So that's another really important one, being coachable. Number 9, doing extra. Doing extra. It's so important. I was watching CT Fletcher on YouTube, and he had the Miss Olympia, Dana, I forgot her name, full name out there, and Mr. Olympia. They had Mr. Olympia and Miss Olympia. And she was lifting the weights. She was curling. And it's like the I Command You to Grow video. He's like, keep curl. And she literally got a lesser weight, but kept curling. And he said, you know what? Another person would have just quit. She knew to do extra if she could do more, if she could go further, if she just dropped the weight a little bit. Now, she's already Miss Olympia, so she's not a quitter. And she's not cheating. She just literally is doing extra at a lower weight. Same thing applies in life. Doing that little extra. That person that does that little extra at work every day continuously, people are like, oh man, I noticed that. Okay? When you're doing, and especially in sales and stuff that is direct sales into your pocket money, when you start doing the little extra for people, they notice, they close with you, they sell with you, they recommend you. Doing extra is what gets you in the door. I remember a guy trying to date this girl, and he was calling, and he texted her some more, and he called her, and she said, you know what, I've never had someone call that much or text that much. I've always had guys text me a lot, but not call me on the actual phone. And this guy's kind of old-fashioned. He's like, well, yeah, I just want to speak to you. And literally, you could see in her face that little bit of extra he did by picking up the phone and calling won her. And I will tell you, there's so many people who don't do the little extra. They don't make the phone calls. They don't send the texts. They don't send the, they don't check on their friends. They don't call their family on a regular. It's just a little bit of doing extra that takes you the long way. Okay? So look. Number 10. Being prepared. It's one of the worst. It's one of the worst when you see somebody give a speech in a classroom and they aren't prepared. It's one of the saddest little things you ever see. Sad, sad, sad. So look, you have to be prepared and you have to know your product. You have to know your service and you have to be ready to pitch. You just have to. There's so many times when I go watch Shark Tank on CNBC and people just aren't ready. As much as this is a moment of a lifetime, you'll be seen on TV by millions. So many people who do go on Shark Tank, not only do the big sharks not buy into them, other companies buy into them. So being prepared is just a necessity. I'll tell you right now, on Kickstarter, I remember messaging over 100 people who campaigns did not make enough money. And I go, hey, are you still looking for investors? Are you still looking for somebody to buy in? And I promise you, out of all those emails, 90% of them are like, yeah, I already got this same letter, same email from another person right when the campaign failed. Yeah, they're our main investor now. I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, it just really was. And so being prepared to say yes, being prepared to invest in something, being prepared to present is amazing because so many people in the world are not prepared. And when you're prepared, opportunities can come along any moment. I remember Steve Harvey was making a joke about trying to set someone up on a blind date or something, and the woman was like, crap, I'm not prepared. He's like, well, you can't lose 50 pounds overnight. You can't, but what you can do is put on your best dress and go out the door. So, same thing I apply in business, I apply in life. If you're looking for the kids, if you're looking for the husband, if you're looking for the wife, are you being the best person you can possibly be? Do you enjoy your own time? Are you interesting? Do you have hobbies? It has to be, you have to be well-rounded yourself if you're looking for that, okay? Same thing in business. Have you been reading business books? Have you been reading finance? Have you been taking business classes? You know how many people tell me, oh, I don't have any business classes. I haven't read any business books. And I just look at them like, you really aren't that prepared because guess what? Everyone needs a plan. Even though Mike Tyson says everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face and the plan changes, you still need a plan. Okay, so being prepared is important. And a real quick one for number 9 on the doing extra. I remember a guy saying that he mailed out the letters to distressed sellers all the time about buying their house. And he said, you know what it was that got him the deal? He was the nicest. Some people said, you know what, you're just nice. You're not pushing me. You're not salesy. You're just a nice guy. And that little extra closed a bunch of deals. So, look, everybody, this is Erica. Classy Climb Blog. Whew. These are the top 10 things that require zero talent. And remember, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I know so many people who have worked fresh out of high school. Went and joined the military fresh out of high school. And guess what? When we looked up at 30 years old and everybody went to college and they went in the military or they became a truck driver right out of school, that person owned a house. They owned a car. They had savings. They had investments. Why? Because hard work beats talent. Period. I mean, that person who went to college, yeah, they may be talented. But they didn't start making money till 6 years later. That other person's been making, let's say they just made $50,000 a year. Every year before you even got out of college. So 6 years, they've already made $300,000 in their lifetime. In that short 6 years, because the average student goes to college in 6 years, finishes college in 6 years. And I know so many people while at college, they were living off those lovely refund checks from the college student loans. So when we talk about all this college debt, you got to realize these people were taking these loans. They're not helpless victims. Now, they should have known better at 19 and 20 years old, but they didn't. But hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So remember that. This is Erica. Classy Climb Blog. Finish strong, people. realize you have just as much opportunity as the person who's super talented and super well connected if you work hard. Guys, have a great day.